when you're building Facebook ads, you know that there is a tool for you to build a URL parameter. This is really something that is very similar. It's actually the same as, you know, when we are running ads on Google, we have this UTM builder. UTM, I don't know what's the full name like. You know, it's like when you're building the URL, let's say you have abc.com. Okay, if your destination is abc.com, you want to add some parameters to the back of it to actually allow Google Analytics to capture where is this conversion coming from. So because we have the issue with what do we call the Facebook attribution, you know, on since I don't know like which month already. I think it's July 2021 or something like that. What happened was we had this iOS 14.5 update, which wiped away basically the attribution part of Facebook Ads Manager metrics, you know, analysis. As in, like, we used to be able to know who are the, let's say, you know, is it male who actually contributed more to the conversion, or is it female? Every conversion is attributed to the demographics. But after that iOS 14.5 update, it went away. So what you can do is, in turn, you can use the parameter builder to track, to actually kind of like analyze the performance of your campaign to see which one works better. That's why we have this URL parameter builder. So I'm just going to quickly take you into the ads manager. So this is the ads manager, right? So we have the campaign level, and this is the ad set level, and this is the ad level. Now in the ad level, if you go scroll down, when you put in a parameter over here, this is the URL, right? So this is the website URL, the destination that you want to bring your audience to, all right? So that's the destination. So all you need to do is very simple, right? So when you put up a link, so this is the landing page that you want to put up. All right, so let's say you have this option, build a URL parameter. So a lot of you probably kind of like find it confusing, but then, you know, the question was how to use this thing. So there are different ways of doing this. I would say my way of doing this may not be the so-called I don't know, the you know, the standard way of doing it, like how all other so-called performance marketer do. But for me, it's very simple. I just want to find out which ad works better. For example, like here you have two ads running, right? So a single image on the 10th, single image on the 12th. So what I'll do is I just want to see which ad works better. So I'll do is I just come in and build a URL parameter. Then you have all these options. You have all these options, like, you know, they basically already give you the idea. Like if you want to go for the sources, by right, this is where you put in, let's say, the location. So if you want to actually go by placement, then if you put in placement, then you'll be able to know that whether this is coming from Facebook or Instagram. Okay, so this is where they already give you this suggestion over here, right? To identify the source of traffic, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or search engine. So on Facebook advertising, this is significantly, you know, kind of like, if you just delete the whole thing, right, and you look at all the options available, it is actually signified by the placement. Okay, whether it's on Facebook, instant experience, and whatnot. So you should actually put in placement for this one. And then, of course, the medium is where you put in other things. Like medium is usually, let's say, if you go on Facebook, there are many places on Facebook. So what you can consider doing here is like, you know, like banner, email. So yeah, you can also put the placement over here. So either way works. And the campaign name is supposed to be the campaign name, like for example, 11/11 sale, for example. And then the campaign content is where you identify the ad. You know, let's say we go for the ad name, or I would usually go for, where is the ad name? Ad campaign name, ad name, right? So ad name is where I will identify which ad actually contributes more. So that's a very quick walkthrough on how you use the URL parameter. But however, you can do whatever you want. Like for example, if you want to come in and say that, you know, you just want to do single image, you can, you know, you can even type in any so-called the whatever that you want to put in over here. I mean, I'm just saying, right, not necessarily you have to do all this. Like, so when you apply, okay, what happened to the campaign? What happened to the campaign? In fact, when you apply, you will realize that the website URL suddenly, you know, carries something at the back of it. Like you have this UTM source, placement, single image, UTM content, blah, 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 and all that. So this is how, you know, the click or the visit or the action taken on your website will be recorded by the analytical tools like Google Analytics to really let you know where are these. Let's say if you are tracking the conversion on your Google Analytics, and you'll be able to know that, let's say on the day itself, that you have 10 conversion, how many of them came from a single image A, how many of them came from a single image B, for example, and how many of them came from Facebook, how many of them came from Instagram. So that's how we do the attribution. That's why, the idea here is, this is really useful for us to know. And if you're running ads on, like, let's say if you're running for Shopee CPass, for example, you would have, usually Shopee will give you a standard way of generating this UTM, so-called the website URL, the UID, the URL parameter. So that is taken care of by that. You can also do or your own whatever way, you see this is really to pull from Facebook's information, like, the bracket kind of thing, placement. So there are many ways of doing this. That's why this is just a very generic kind of like, a guidance to teach you how to use the URL parameter. Now, you may ask the next question is, Jason, what's the difference between this URL parameter and the one at the very bottom, the build URL parameter? What's the difference? It's the damn same thing, okay? So seriously, for fun, I don't know why are they actually putting this at two places over here, but it's the same thing, okay? So that's for the question, how to use Facebook ads URL parameter builder.